Luke Evans and I'm an artist. I work mainly with photography and sculpture and where those two meet in the middle. What inspires me is the world of science and technology and how you can use photography to bring those ideas to life and sort of reveal ideas that are almost invisible and make them visible. The fabrics that I've been working with ISKO are really innovative fabrics. There's a lot of technology hidden inside of the fabric, so it was really natural for me to sort of understand the technology behind these fabrics and try and visualize them. With pop, the idea behind it was to illustrate those twisted yarns. So what I ended up doing was cutting out strips of the fabric, really starching them so they became very stiff, almost the opposite of how they feel in the hand, and then twist them and make them into interesting waves and patterns and shapes to really make them feel very, very soft, but with something that looks like a strand of fabric. What this resulted in were these really soft, silky strips of fabric, which mirrored the very soft hand feel that you get in the pop fabric. Future Face is a really interesting fabric because it's woven but feels like a knit. If you zoom really, really close up to the surfaces of those, it has a really interesting texture that you can only see if you're very, very, very close. And the two sides of it are very different. The front surface almost looks like a very traditional denim. The back is where all the action is. It really does look quite different to any other denim I've ever seen. So to really amplify the differences between the front and the back of the fabric and to really show off the difference in texture, I moulded it into a sort of wave-like surface that really caught the light and showed the difference in tone between the two. Blueskin was really fun to work with because it was the only one of those that had a really good full-way stretch. I could stretch it over different objects to really show just how much movement this fabric had. It really sat very close to all of the forms that I was putting it over, almost like a second skin. The idea with the recoil fabric was to show and illustrate how it can retain shape. So this picture has an element of time that none of the other pictures really do. I wanted to show how it can change from a very warped fabric into something very flat and how it can remember the shape that it had. It was cut into many, many, many strips that are all starched and really stiffened, which allowed me to really position each of the strips individually. The surface of recoil had a really lovely sheen, and within those waves, it was really nice to be able to bring out the different shapes that light can reflect off of. Cozy was a really interesting one to work with because the outside and the inside are so different. It's a very thick, very warm, fluffy fabric on the inside, but the outside looks like a traditional denim. The idea was to build an almost like a sand dune-y sort of abstract landscape to illustrate the warm feeling that this denim could give you. I think that was the most surprising thing about the whole process, was taking something as simple as a flat sheet of denim and turning it into something completely different that you would never have thought started out as a sheet of flat denim. The result was that after the whole process, we were able to come up with 5 very different looking images, which really illustrated and celebrated the technologies within each of these fabrics.